In the world of Valdris, some bargains are not made with words. Some bargains are made with ink, dye-lit, one album. A world that had never heard anything like it and could not stop listening. He had moved something in the culture, and the culture had moved something back. He didn't know yet what he had opened. He only knew the album felt like it came from somewhere else, like it had been waiting for him to find it. The anniversary. 1 year since Dye-Lit. He decided to mark it the way he marked everything that mattered, permanently, a star, outlined, clean, the kind of mark that feels like a declaration. He sat in the chair and watched the needle do its work and felt nothing unusual. Not yet. That came later. On the way home, something shifted. Something underneath the skin that had nothing to do with the needle. He felt it in the car, a heat in the chest that was not a fever, a pressure behind the eyes that was not pain, or not only pain. By the time he reached the house, he could not walk straight. The world had gone wrong at the edges. The street lights were too bright. The dark between them was too deep. He made it inside, he made it to the floor, and the world went somewhere else for a while. In the darkness behind his eyes, something was there, not a voice, not a figure, a presence, the kind of thing that had been waiting longer than cities had existed. It did not ask, it did not offer. It arrived the way night arrives, not by choice, not by invitation, simply by the absence of what came before. The star on his chest was burning, not the skin, deeper. Like something had been written there a long time ago, and the ink had only just found him. He gathered himself off the floor. He found the bedroom. And what looked back at him from the mirror was almost him. Black hair, gone, in its place, red, not dyed, not coloured, red the way blood is red, red from inside the strand itself. He opened his mouth and felt it, the fangs, sharp, real. His. He looked at himself for a long time, and then he smiled. Morning came, light through the curtains, the ordinary warm gold of a morning he had seen 1,000 times, and this time it reached him like fire. He pulled back from the window. He stood in the shadow of the room, safe there, wrong everywhere else. The daylight was not his anymore. He stood in that shadow for a long time. Outside, the world was bright and loud and moving. In here, it was dark and quiet and his. He tested it. He had to know the edges of the thing. He found them quickly. The sun was not something he could fight through or adapt to. It was simply closed to him now. The night was different. In the dark, he was more than he had been, sharper, faster, more present in a way he had never felt before, even at his most alive. The curse had a shape, and the shape of it was everything you were before, still yours. Everything you could become, still ahead of you, just only after dark. The shows, night only. The venues dark by design, but now dark by necessity. The stage lights red. The crowd a single breathing thing. He moved differently. Every person in that room felt it without being able to name it. He was not performing for them, he was ruling them, and they loved it. The music was the same music, the words were the same words, but something underneath had changed, something that came off him in the dark, like heat. There were moments when the cost pressed in hard. A phone call, in the afternoon, he could not take in the sun. A city he couldn't walk through until midnight. People noticed he was never seen in daylight anymore. The internet had theories. None of them were wrong enough to dismiss. He learned to live in the gap between sunset and sunrise. It was smaller than a life. It was also somehow bigger than the one he had before, Whole Lotta Red, an album that arrived like a statement of what he had become. Cold, sharp, crimson at the edges. The critics didn't know how to hold it. The crowd did. The crowd always does. They felt the thing underneath the record. The thing that only comes from someone who has been somewhere ordinary people have not. In Valdris, the greatest works are always made from the cost, not despite it, because of it. The darkness did not take something from him. It gave him a frequency no one else could tune to. Other artists noticed. Not the fangs, those he kept to himself. They noticed what the fangs had done to the eyes, the way he looked at a room like he already owned it. They said he had a different energy now. They said being around him felt like standing too close to something that could go either way. They were right. They just didn't have the word for what he was. In Valdris, that word is king.